starting our lower body stretch workout today with a deep squat position. Finding a comfortable squat position for you and pressing your knees wide to the side with your elbows. If that's not comfortable, then pressing the knees wide with the hands. From there, coming into our first exercise, which is a squat and forward fold. Taking a hold of the fronts of the ankles, the shins or the thighs, and breathing in to stretch the legs to straight, and breathing out to bend the legs back into your squat position. The legs don't have to straighten here, but that is the aim for this exercise. I'm just going to show you a side profile version of this exercise. So as the head drops, the hips lift. And then as the hips lower back down to the ground again into your deep squat position, the head lifts and the chest lifts. If you can, breathing in as we come down to the squat position, and then breathing out as we stretch the legs. Our next exercise is a lunge sequence, starting with a normal lunge. Knee on the floor, hands can be on the fingertips, fists or flats of the hands, framing the foot. And our next lunge is slightly higher with the arms up and over to take a little bit of a deeper stretch into the front of the back leg. If we can look up, that would be great. Bringing the arms back down again towards the floor, lifting the back knee and taking a little moment here before we open the right foot out to the side into a lizard pose or lizard lunge, which just means our knee is slightly drifted out to the side, our foot is turned out, and both of our hands and elbows are down in the space on the inside of the right knee. You don't need to lift the back leg can just be down on the floor, and also the elbows don't need to be on the floor either. Once we're comfortable, we can then change sides. And this time, returning back to our normal standard lunge, the knee can be elevated or the knee can be lowered on the floor. Finding our balance to bring ourselves all the way up to kneeling, hands above the head if we can look up and find a balance. We can take a little bit of a deeper stretch into the front of the back leg. Circling those arms round and then untucking the toes of the back knee to walk the left knee out towards the side into our lizard pose or lizard lunge on the opposite side. Toes pointing out towards the corner of your mat or the corner of your room, allowing your elbows to drop down to the floor if you can, keeping the back leg elevated or dropping the knee down onto the floor. And bring yourself out of the lunge, transitioning through a downward dog and a roll up as we bring ourselves to standing. The next exercise we're going to do is a Romanian split squat. Now it's up to you. You can either tuck the toes or untuck the toes of the back foot, whatever feels most comfortable to you. Slightly pitch your weight forward so that you can find a balance, putting the foot onto the chair. And then ensuring that the knee is directly stacked over the foot, bending both legs, keeping the chest lifted. The hands can be on your hips, out to the side or up towards the ceiling for balance. You're doing 6 repetitions on each side of this active stretch. Finding the balance and then changing sides. Really try and keep the chest lifted. Try to avoid letting the chest drop forwards. and bringing yourself back. Sticking with the chair, we are using the chair as balance for our standing glute stretch. If you're not comfortable with this stretch, you can do this also on the floor. So leaving the chair there as balance, bringing the right ankle across the left leg, flexing the foot, pressing the knee wide to the side, and then bending the left leg, and if we can, lower the hands down to the floor while sitting the sit bones back to increase the stretch. Bringing yourself up and then crossing your left ankle over, pressing your knee wide to the side and sitting yourself back. And again, if we can reach the hands down to the floor and sit the bum back, we can increase the stretch in the back of the left glute. And bringing yourself to standing. Our next exercise is an exercise called active pigeon, and we start in a lunge with our right foot forward, and you want to bring your right foot across to the left hand side of your mat or your space towards your left hand, and we're going to drop our right knee out to the side. If possible, we want to keep the knee and ankle in line. If your hips are a little bit tight, then allow your foot to drift towards the front of your hips ever so slightly as we drop the knee down. After 6 reps, we're going to land the leg down towards the floor, take a little bit of a rest, and again, if we need to, bring the foot closer towards the front of the hip in order to keep both sit bones forward, and then resting the arms forward for a stretch. The legs can be up or down. Like what can you see them?
Yeah, as long as you're sat in a right setting.
Bringing yourself up, and we have active pigeon on the other side. So bring that left foot across to the right side of your mat. Reaching the left hand out, allowing the left knee to drop down towards the floor. And again, if we can keep the knee and ankle in line, then we can increase the stretch across the outside of the left thigh. If we need to drift that left foot in, then we need to do that. And once we perform this exercise a couple more times, we can then allow the knee to drop and bringing the foot in towards the front of the hip, keeping both hips square to the front. We can rest down into a little bit of a relaxation. Bring yourself up, and we're staying seated for our final exercise, which is a pancake stretch. So taking the legs as wide as is comfortable and reaching the arms forward, either elbows on the floor, reaching the arms all the way down. If we can flatten the chest along the floor, allow our knees to roll in and relax here.